All right, guys, so I don't normally do unboxing videos, but I'm going to make an exception in this case. I finally got my MDT ACC Premier 2 for the 1022. Just came in the mail today, and I want to put this together, but I want to do a quick unboxing for the main video so that you see what you get when you order one of these. So, comes in a really nice box. Let's open this sucker up, see what we got here. So we've got the SRS X Lite buttstock. We've got the plastic grip. And we've got the ACC Premier Gen 2 chassis. So let's pull this out of here and see what we got. So this is the plastic style grip. It's fully adjustable. All right, so it comes with some instructions. It does have a scan QR code. Got a piece of foam. And we've got the chassis. Now, guys, I went with the dark hunter green chassis. I'm a big sucker for green. I love green. So we've got a full-length Arca rail. The machining and the finish looks very, very good. Again, full-length Arca rail. Got a good-sized barricade stop. We do have threading on the top for a night vision bridge. We do have holes for the addition of internal weights. We've got a ton of M-lock on the side. We've got 3 slots on the bottom towards the front. Comes with the front action screw. So they ended up going with the same type of rear action hold down that they went with on the field stock. So what this is it's it's just a little horseshoe deal here that goes through the recoil pin portion of the receiver, and then you put it in and then it bolts in from the top. This is the same one they used on the MDT field stock. Now, I ended up having a little bit of trouble with mine the last time I pulled the action out to clean it. This bolt that they used on the field stock is really short, and I think it's only like a thread and a half to 2 threads at the most that was holding this down, and I ended up pulling those threads. So I ended up having to re-tap the hole. I went with a longer screw. I actually had to drill it out a little bit more because the hole was drilled very shallow, and I had to drill it out a little bit more, re-tap it. I used a longer screw, and then it was fine. So I'm kind of curious to see just how long the screw is on this rear action hold down. All right, so let's get this curious to see how much of that actually goes in. Yeah, it's definitely longer than the other one, and the hole is quite a bit deeper as well. So we've got a good 1, 2, 3, 4, a good 5 threads going to be holding this in. So this shouldn't be an issue like it was with the field stock for me. So this is the buttstock. This is the SRS X Lite. This is compatible with those little fill-in plugs, anti-vibration fill-in plugs. Has an adjustable comb height, adjustable length of pull with the use of spacers. It does require tools to make the adjustments, but most of the time when you set this rifle up, it's kind of a set it and forget it type deal. It's not like you're readjusting these all the time. This is not made for a kid. So I just noticed the cheek rest is adjustable forward and back and up and down. So that's pretty sweet. Now, guys, the action I decided to use was my Powder River Precision Rubicon with my Green Mountain 24-inch barrel. This has the KIDD trigger kit in it, and we're running a Arcan EP5 on here. Now, guys, I decided to use this action because the Powder River Precision Rubicon is one of the most consistent actions that I've ever seen on a 1022, but it's not KIDD rear tang compatible. So the way that the ACC is going to attach the rear of the action down will really benefit the Powder River Precision receiver. And this is a really accurate setup as well. So guys, the other thing that I noticed while I was putting this together, by the front action screw, they're using the little Teflon post to minimize the side-to-side movement. It's very similar, if not identical, to what the Oryx did. And that Oryx chassis is one of the tightest action fits that I've ever seen on any chassis for a 1022. So this thing should fit really well once we get this installed. No easy way to do this. I can see why they leave this to the customer and they're not paying somebody to do this. This is a little time consuming.
5 minutes later.
Well, that's pretty well all put together. Now let's get the action in. Now, if this is anything like the Oryx, we're going to have to pull the action down into the Delrin, and that's going to make the receiver kind of cut into the Delrin rods that are on the side there, which is going to give you a really good side-to-side fit. All right, guys, so I took the scope off of the action. It makes things a little bit easier, especially for the first time installation. So we're going to get this rear action screw bolted down. So I'm usually right around 30 inch-pounds when I tighten up my my actions. So actually I'm going to start at 25 on this rear one since I did have a problem with the field stock. Well, that feels really loose though. Let's go up to 30. All right. So we're 30 in the back. We'll do 30 in the front. It's usually where I end up anyway. What I did notice is you're going to need two different drivers because they're different size. All right, guys, so I've got the grip adjusted. Pretty much ended up pulling it all the way back. Now, I did notice that they have a built-in thumb shelf right here, and it's basically in the perfect position. It's not adjustable like it is on the Victor RPG chassis, but it's in a very natural position, and I don't really think it needs to be adjustable, honestly. So guys, this thing with no weights, I'm going to take the bipod off, but this thing balances out pretty good with this 24-inch barrel on here. I mean, that's perfect. The actual rifle itself for a PRS style rifle, like it sits, is a little light because these are only 920 barrels, so there's not a lot of weight to the barrel. But yeah, actually this thing balances out perfect with no weights or anything on it at all. I think if you're building a PRS rifle out of a 1022, I would definitely go with the 24-inch barrel. So as you know, MDT also makes the Oryx chassis. The Oryx chassis is a reasonably priced chassis for the 1022. Now, MDT did take some of the features from the Oryx and incorporated them into the new ACC Premier. The thumb shelf is almost identical. The way the trigger guard comes into the chassis here in front of the grip, almost identical. Although it does look like they left a little bit more space between the chassis and the trigger guard. On the Oryx, sometimes certain triggers that you would put in here would rub on that and it would take the finish off of the trigger. It doesn't look like that's going to happen with the ACC. It looks like they left plenty of room in there so that does not happen on the Premier. The other thing that they incorporated from the Oryx into the Premier is the way the action beds. They have the Delrin rods in the front, but that's pretty much it as far as the similarities between the Oryx and the Premier. The Oryx does not have the ability to put internal weights in here. The Oryx also does not come with any M-LOK. You actually have to buy the optional side plates to get M-LOK on the Oryx. The buttstock on the Oryx is less than desirable. The way they have the bag rider M-LOK on the bottom of the stock. It's just a polymer M-LOK slot, and anything that you would put on the back of that was never all that rigidly mounted. It always had a little bit of play in it. The buttstock on their Premier is a fully adjustable buttstock. There's plenty of M-LOK on the Premier on each side and on the front, and it has an integrated full-length Arca rail with a barricade stop. The Oryx does not have a barricade stop at all. So guys, the other big difference between the Oryx and the Premier is the price. The Oryx goes for about $429, where the Premier goes for $999, but guys, you're getting a lot more with the Premier. So after I got this all put together, I put a 15 round magazine in it, and immediately I noticed something that kind of bothered me. The main function of a barricade stop is to protect the magazine from, getting jammed into a barricade and causing a malfunction. If you notice, the 15 round magazine extends quite a ways forward of the barricade stop. So if you were to jam this into a barricade, there's a very good chance that you could induce a malfunction into your rifle. So we're going to have to go out, put this thing on a barricade and test this out, because that concerns me a little bit. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so as you can see, we were able to get this to balance out. It didn't balance out as good as I thought it was going to. I did end up having to put 2 sets of MDT M-LOK weights on it, and we put the AccuTac on there as well. It's definitely going to take some internal weights to get this to balance out perfectly, but right now it's pretty close. Yeah, guys, I'm very impressed with this this chassis. Actually, this whole setup is phenomenal. Now, guys, I did end up going with the fatter rubber grip. Just like this grip a lot better than the one that the Premier came with. But to each his own. It's just kind of my taste. I did put a small bag rider on here as well. Got everything adjusted up. I really like the foam pad that they have on the cheek rest right here. Just a super nice setup. And if you're familiar with MDT, that's kind of what you get with MDT products. They're phenomenal. They make phenomenal products. So that's why I was kind of a little surprised on the location of the barricade. Now, maybe they're not familiar. I don't know if their guys shoot 1022s and if they even took this into consideration. But we definitely have a problem with the location of the magazine. If you look, when I bury this into the bag, the barricade stop doesn't even touch the bag at all. So some forward pressure, if you don't have your rifle worked out, so all the little kinks worked out of your rifle, this is probably going to cause a problem. Now, there are some modifications you can do to the magazines that will, you can put tons of pressure on these and it'll still run. And what you got to do though is you got to take a little material off the very top of the magazine here, kind of smooth things out and round it off, and just a little, not a lot, and it just gives you a little bit more clearance so the bolt can ride over that a little smoother, and it will not get caught on there when you change the angle of that magazine a little bit. Now, all receivers are not going to be affected by this. I have a CST receiver in there. There is absolutely no play in that magazine at all. It's one of the best fitting receiver to magazine fitments I've ever seen. But this Powder River Precision, we do have some side to side, which is normal, but we do have a little bit of forward and backward movement. And I was able to induce malfunctions on factory magazines. Now, once I made the correction to the top of the magazine, the problem pretty much went away. Now, guys, if you don't want to deal with this at all, you could go with the Tandem Cross Dual 10 magazines. So basically, it's two 10-round magazines smashed together, but the only problem is when you get empty, you have to eject it, flip it over, recharge the weapon. So it does cost time on time stages. I'd rather not have to reload if I don't have to. That's why I like to run the 15-rounders. But I think I've worked this out. Let me show you real quick how well that little modification to the magazine made this whole setup work properly. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna run this 50-yard KYL real quick, and I'm not really concerned with how well I run the KYL. We're just looking for function on these 15-round magazines. So what I'm gonna do, we got the magazine inserted, I'm gonna bury this rifle into this bag on that magazine and see if this thing is gonna run good or if it's gonna malfunction. So let's see what happens here. All right, I mean, I'm buried right into it. All right, here we go. That small one's kind of a... Yeah, I nicked it. All right, so it ran good all the way through. Let's finish out the mag. And dude, I am pushing into this like crazy. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be an issue so far. Let's try another mag. Let's see if I can stable out here a little bit better. Woohoo! 1-to-1. Yep, that's it. All right, guys, well, what I thought was gonna be a huge issue with this chassis came out to be a big nothing burger. I'm sure MDT was aware of this. And you know, if you have your rifle properly set up, you're probably not gonna have a problem with this. Now, if your stuff's kind of janky, or if you have you know, a low quality receiver where the forward and back fitment is not good on your setup, it could cause a problem. So I guess it's just something to be aware of. And guys, if I hadn't have pointed that out, I wouldn't have been doing my job as a reviewer. I mean, if you look at that, that looks like that could be a huge problem. But all in all, it just ended up being a big nothing burger. And guys, this is a fantastic chassis. It's solid as a rock. It's the fit and finish is just phenomenal. You have all kinds of different accessories that MDT makes for this. You can get night vision hoods, you can get the control bridges. They have the little black vibration dampeners to put in the stock here. I wish they had that little bar that would connect from this area to the grip. I think that's pretty slick looking on the, what is that, the ACC Elites. I wish they made that for this model. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, guys, pretty phenomenal package. The Powder River Precision receiver is phenomenal. I love the way the recoil system is set up on this, where instead of the recoil rod being on the side of the bolt, it's actually on top of it, right center line with the bore. This thing cycles super smooth. The Green Mountain barrel is phenomenal. This is a 24-inch barrel. The KIDD single stage trigger, we're using Powder River Precision's bolt. What else? Tractoric. These things are phenomenal scopes. This is a pretty phenomenal setup. And guys, I really hate calling this a 1022 because when you have a setup like this, it's really far from it. This is a top tier precision 22 semi-automatic rifle, and MDT just made it better. So I want to thank MDT for sending this chassis in for review. The channel's finally getting large enough where companies are willing to send in really nice product for review. And that's thanks to you guys watching the channel and subscribing. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much all I got for you today. So if you like what you saw, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you like what I'm doing here, go down there and hit that subscribe button. I can't build this channel without you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.